We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while.
We came, we saw, he died.
We tortured some folks.
Yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty.
And the pod has been parked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's episode 35 of Dave versus Goliath, and we're going to fucking clean out some demons tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get to that, something more important. I have been scrubbing the multiverse, wheezing the timeline, searching for my BFF, my best friend, lost, scattered throughout the multiverse. But I have found him, and we are reunited once again with my main man, Dan! Dan, what's up, dog? How you doing, man?
It's been a month or so.
I can't believe it. Are you okay, dude? I've been searching everywhere for you.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it, man. You look good. Stuck in this motherfucking phantom zone.
Shit, I don't know what planet you're on.
Yo, I've been on Mars lately, bro. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills lately. We'll get more to that in a little bit. But seriously, dude, how you been, man?
It's in the water. I've been great, dude. I do. I miss you. I'm glad we're here. I know you're fired up.
I am fired up. Yep, we talked a little bit earlier, and you and I rarely do, just kind of a focused episode on one thing, but we're going to do that today. Because we're going to get back to our roots, which is being pissed at the shit that's being done to us and fucking, letting a little bit of steam out, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, tonight we're going to talk about, the title of the episode is called The War on Children. And that might seem a little bit melodramatic, but I fucking believe that, dude. So we're going to talk a bit about the trans agenda. I don't mean to sound like your average Christian conservative here. That's not how I identify. But I will coalition with people when their views align with mine. And this might be one of those times. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to that. But Dan, you have kids. I don't have kids, but your kids are my god kids. So I love your kids, and I know that you do. Do you worry about the world? Of course you do. Why do you worry about the world that they are growing up in? Do they even have a shot? Screens in front of them. The indoctrination is just so in their face all the time. Do they even have a shot? What do we do for the kids?
It's tough. I wish I could say that I don't worry about it, and that I think that they do. What scares me about the whole thing, from the indoctrination from the screen and then in the schools and everything that they're doing now, is it feels to me like they are trying to pry them away from the parental oversight and turn it over to the indoctrination and the propaganda that's on all the screens and on social media and then in the schools too.
Yeah.
That's kind of like step one, right? I mean, that's what.
And that's always been the MO, right?
About. Yeah.
The state always is trying to separate the child from certainly, the mother, but the destruction of the family, let's just say, is a common theme throughout all their goals, right?
Sure.
But this really does seem like they're taking it to a new level. And you and I have seen a lot of America, right? It's a lot of rural areas, and I can't imagine how they're reacting to some of this stuff. And we go back and we talk about how we acted in the 90s and how we might need to say sorry to the Christians that we may have offended then, because You know, you may have been right about certain things. I don't know, slippery slope or whatever. I don't know if it's that, but
it's interesting though, because I think that back then, how it seemed to me, I don't know what our parents thought and everything, but everybody kind of gave you a little bit of space and then kind of redirected, like kind of let you get that childhood stuff out. But now they're encouraging them to, destroy any kind of structure or semblance of sanity. It's like
right.
anything that is destructive. I mean, dude, think since 2020, anything destructive is promoted as moral, all across the board.
This is
destruction
the
in the
Marxist.
streets, destroying of monuments and historical.
Burn it down,
and then
so
burn
that
down
you
the
can
family.
burn, and until you do that for a generation, and then maybe you've lost objective truth. You burn down, right, all the history, get rid of that.
Sure.
That's why, Disney's editing all their old movies, and you can't talk about these actors who did these things. And I just saw Ralph Macchio apologize because Karate Kid was too white in the 1980s. It's like,
holy shit, really?
right. I mean, that's just tip of the iceberg kind of shit, right? Like, it's just, this is like destroying kids. And I feel like they're really preying on kids' natural ability and natural state of just being cool and empaths, and just, kids don't want to hurt people. They don't, they're not born that way. So if a teacher or an authority figure or a parent or a guidance counselor, tells you something that's kind of like just the truth to like a kid,
sure,
right? So man, it's one thing that
it is the truth. That's a really, really good point. That is 100% the truth to them. They don't have any objective,
right. And they've already gotten the parents.
They don't have any experience.
If the mother of the child will do this to their kids, I mean, obviously a guidance counselor will whatever. I'm not shocked. But like through COVID, man, moms and dads, but a large portion of them were not standing up for their kids. Sure, put that mask on my kid. Sure, get that shot for my kid. I can't wait till my kid has to get that. It's like, you are not doing your due diligence for your child.
That's the ugliest thing of all. It's the perceived moral superiority for a lot of these parents trumps their own children.
Blind
They'll
to
sacrifice their children to be on the virtual, to virtue signal them. They'll use them for that too. And I think that's what's going on with a lot of these kids too. All this trans stuff too. It's like, it's the parents use that.
Oh yeah. Not only do they use it, and I don't know exactly the context that you're talking about, but there's a saying, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but like, there's no such thing as a vegan cat, right? Just a vegan owner who's a selfish asshole.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And a miserable cat. Yeah.
A miserable cat, right? Who is going to die, right? Probably not via suicide, but that cat's going to die because it's not supposed to live like that, Right. Dude, so we're going to look at a couple videos tonight. This first one came across my radar. A buddy sent this to me. This is from Delaware. So we got a local story here. Oh, my goodness. Just actually breaks my heart and really pisses me off at the same time. But this is about a little boy who started transitioning at age 4. Keep an eye on his mom because, the vegan cat chat throughout this. But, yeah, we're going to play it. If you have any questions or you want me to pause, just let me know. But we're going to check this out. This is the story of Trinity here. Here we go.
People don't really...
Oh, boy. Bear with me, dude, as I fix my audio here. Okay. Try this one more time.
like trans people, sadly. They always say, oh, you have those man parts. Like, what?
I want to actually be a girl even though I am a girl, I want to have this removed. I'm tired of it.
Let's stop.
Okay. Yeah, because the mom was over there just,
Here's my child. So here we have a young trans girl. I think they're 12 at this point. I could be wrong. Maybe they go over it. But it's titled Transitioned at 4. Okay. So you've had at least quite a few years of depression and torment. And let's start off with compassion here. I feel bad for this child. Really bad for this child.
absolutely.
And it breaks my heart that the thing that this child wants to do to achieve happiness is chop their penis off. But let's keep going.
The average age of a patient having transgender surgery is in the 40s and 50s, but there are extremes that we operate kids now as young as 16.
And here's your medical professional. Yeah, normally we do this when you're 60, 70. So why do they all have Fauci voice? Is that the official voice of evil incarnate? You fuck.
Little demon coming out.
You know? Oh, but we're usually 60 or 70 years old, but 16 could work. We could do it.
This was pre-transition when she had become very withdrawn and silent.
Look at this mother justifying her fucking torture of her kid. Oh, here's my 3-year-old. Always really quiet, really depressed 3-year-old. It's like,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, what kind of assumption did you make? Did you get any second opinion? Is your kid autistic? You know,
Listen,
what is it?
And talking about that mother too. Yeah, carry on.
No, go ahead, dude. No, please.
I was watching an interview with another woman that was at a protest, and she was there with bragging about how 3 of her 4 children are trans. It was like a badge, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
The odds of that happening, like even if you followed, you know, like
there are no odds, bro.
Oh my God. It's gone up like 40% in the past like 5 years, but like, you know, it's still like really like, oh my God.
And when you see her too, it's kind of like this too. I'm like, oh, weird. Really?
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
You guys all look exactly the same. How about that? It's phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. Oh gosh, here we go.
3 in this picture. So I didn't even know that kids could be trans. No matter how many people corrected her, how many times we corrected her, she never faltered. I am a girl. It wasn't I want to be a girl. It was I am a girl.
And my kid told me that. So I listened to my kid, my 3-year-old.
When he was 3.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And this is the last picture that we got of her before transition. She wasn't speaking anymore, and she wasn't smiling.
That could be any kid at any time, in the back of any car, any day. Of a perfectly healthy kid.
That's a photograph.
He's not. He's not smiling at you in it. Oh.
What does she mean? He transitioned. That's the last. What did he do?
Well, they didn't do anything chemically or anything yet, but yeah, mom kicks this into overdrive in a minute.
Okay.
And you can see that is a face of a child who has given up. It was like watching my child dying in front of me.
Until I gave him a rebirth. You sick bitch.
Yeah.
It wasn't right for me in that body. It felt awful. I wasn't even happy. I was always sad and angry.
Okay, Trinity is 16 now. And Trinity is a chubby kid. Most chubby kids are sad and depressed and would give anything to not be that way. This is so sad, man. I was going to say get this kid out of that house. I'm not advocating for that, but
right.
If that kid ran away, I wouldn't be upset about it.
I didn't decide to talk for a while.
So I just didn't know what to do, and she was getting worse. Finally, I just started searching was a support site. So they helped me search in Delaware for therapists who specialized in gender identity concerns. I emailed her. She saw us. She saw a trend. She was like, well, you have to make a decision here. You want a happy little girl or a dead little boy?
What the fuck kind of medical advice is that? Here's your two choices.
That's insane.
You make your son a girl, or your son's going to kill himself. What do you choose?
Yeah,
Mom?
that's not a choice.
Oh my God.
These people
I wonder
are out there doing that.
Yeah, they are, dude.
Are they activists? They're not therapists.
I wonder. Does this at the? I'm always looking for the common denominator. Is it the universities? Right. That's what Malice would say. Right. Like that they get this just hammered in, indoctrinated. Sorry.
I mean, he also could have said, or a happy little girl that then statistically has a much higher chance of committing suicide when she's 25. After transitioning
and no one wants to talk about what they might do if they go through with this. And then, you're 16 now, but when you're 30, what do you think? You might look, you might have regrets.
Right. I mean, don't we know your brain doesn't develop till you're like 24? It's absurd.
The doctors know that. That's what's so sick about this. Ugh. Damn, dude. Yeah, here we go.
And we were like, well, I guess we're going shopping for some clothes.
It was my 4th birthday. Mom gave me this pink dress, which...
My 4th birthday, my mom gave me this pink dress.
And now the music is happy and uplifting. So it must be true. Do you hear the difference between like the evil synth now versus like the...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay,
ominous tones, right into uplifting, joyous vibes.
It made me feel so happy.
When she came out in that dress and she was just that big smile, we were like, this was it the whole time.
Trinity started to socially transition at just 4 years old.
And when we called her by Trinity and she answered us, we were like, okay.
Before Trinity, Medicaid had never covered treatment for transgender children. So Trinity's mum fought to get her daughter's transition covered.
It was so exhausting. Like at times I almost gave up because I'm like, can I fight Medicaid? Can I truly battle?
Can I fight Medicaid? You're not fighting the state. They love this.
I was just going to say it's they give it to you, right? It's not
right, dude. This I'm pretty sure this is happening. This happened in Delaware. This might be like a case that set precedent here.
Did it already?
I believe so. We'll keep cruising.
Something that big.
Initially, Medicaid agreed to cover Trinity's puberty blockers when she was 12 years old and had been living as a girl for 8 years. She became the first minor in Delaware to medically transition.
Yep.
And one of the youngest in America.
Medicaid has covered surgery, but only over 18.
Now Medicaid will be covering Trinity's gender reassignment surgery at 16 years old.
Okay.
I would say my fight with Medicaid helped me fight anything.
So today we are heading up to see Dr. Sherman Lease. He is a surgeon. He works with transgender patients.
A girl completely. Even though I am a girl, I want to have this removed. I'm tired of it. It's not me. And it's really embarrassing. I don't want people to think I'm a monster. That's why.
Right. They are just... I don't want people to think I'm a... This is just a sad, depressed child. A confused child who's been confused her whole life, and mom's not helping.
And either is the therapist.
Right, the medical establishment.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And dude, this is where libertarians have their blind spot. This is where the libertarian autism kicks in. So let me just be absolutely clear about my position, and then you can tell me how you think or what, whatever. I believe that if a child comes to their mother and father and says, I don't believe I'm this, I'm this, and then mom and dad agree, go, you're right, and then they take that information and go to the hospital or the doctor, and they say to the doctor, we want you to load this kid up with all these drugs, and then we want you to either chop this off or do whatever. And the doctor also agrees. So now you have all this consent. Kid wants it, parents okay with it, doctor's going to do it. It's still wrong. It's still wrong. That's
right,
never
you can
okay.
have a majority wrong opinion.
Correct. The morality is not what's the saying? Fuck, I'm losing it. But
so is this a matter of then age? I mean,
that's exactly what it is for
child,
me, anyway.
right?
Like
That's where I thought you were going
I would
with
hope
that,
that no one in their whole life would do this. No one, no adult. But if you're an adult, then I'm not going to argue. You can live however you want. You can chop off whatever you want. If you want to be a pirate, chop off your leg and glue on a wooden one. Okay,
agreed.
That's fine. I wouldn't, and I would advise against it. But this is the same position that libertarians would take for, heroin use or, prostitution, maybe, depending on your views there. Like we can tolerate it, but we wouldn't promote it.
I mean, so how do you put that in a way that, libertarians, obviously the answer would never be, and I agree that the default answer would never be that you want the state to step in. You don't want a law restricting what parents can do and everything. But there's a difference between a child and an adult. So if the age is, what is it? Is it 18 to do everything else? Like, how do you that's where I get kind of weird too. Like, where do we draw that line?
I think it's 18, and that's still arbitrary. But what would make this easier for most of these libertarians? It's like Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, when he was like 30 or something, wanted to marry a 14-year-old. And I think he did. Or he moved in with her or something, with the approval of the parents or something like that. It's like, I'm glad everybody was okay and everybody was on board, but that's still not okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's not okay to the 14-year-old. Correct.
Right.
100%.
The 14-year-old cannot.
Wants
she wants that, and the parents said it's okay, but that kid can't consent.
Right.
So I don't know why this is a different issue, but we'll keep going.
I'm so excited because I can actually be happy.
And there it is, dude. Once I chop my penis off, I can finally be happy. This is so fucking sad, dude. Because all kids, 12 years old, 16 years old, this is man, don't you remember? That was tough. Everything seems just fucking, you're a mess, all these hormones anyway. I remember just being depressed all the time and giving anything. I just want to be happy, and not even knowing what that fucking means.
Shit was confusing enough back when we went through that. Now, dude, introduce this option now.
Right. Can you imagine?
All those kids.
Parents and doctors and school professionals all affirming.
This is the thing you can do too now. And it's not just the thing you can do. No bullshit. It's encouraged.
Yes. It is encouraged. Ugh.
I cannot wait to meet Dr. Lewis. He'll make me feel so much better.
Hello. How you doing? Have a seat. The average age of a patient having transgender surgery is probably in the 40s and 50s. But there are extremes that we operate kids now as young as 18. Before we do genital reassignment surgery on anyone, some of the basic requirements are that they've been on hormones for at least a year and living full time in their desired gender for at least a year. But also they have clearance by 2 mental health specialists who have been trained and or experienced with transgender care. But I don't have one patient that regrets they did the surgery. Not even one.
Sure.
What's that?
Like there's therapists, social workers. I mean, that's all. Probably they went somewhere that was state funded. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. get the line. Oh, I don't have anybody that's regretted this. It's like, well, how long have you been doing it, man? How many kids have you mutilated that are 40 now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely the truth. But I know that overall there's about an incidence of 1% of patients that regret that they did the surgery.
Horse shit. That's got to be horse shit. 1%. Oh, we're 99% got complete happiness. Mm-hmm. I doubt that's really.
I don't think there's another profession in the world, in or out of medicine, that has the ability to bring such a profound improvement in a human being's life as transgender surgery.
Oh my God.
He's a salesman.
Lock this motherfucker up.
That's what I kept saying. People don't really like trans people, sadly. They always say, oh.
Who told
First
you,
of all,
little child, that people don't like trans people? Was it your mom?
Of course it was, because they get all the love now. Like it's, like I said, it's become a virtuous badge of honor, man.
I don't dislike this child. I feel bad for this child.
It's like when you see him at protests, like demanding equal rights. It's like, what law is there? Like against, like what right don't you have? Somebody told them that.
Yeah. Well, mom's an activist. Big time.
You have those theme men parts. Like, what?
She's grossed out by herself.
They'll think, actually, I'm a girlfriend.
We get that standard, this is child abuse, because loving and accepting your child for who they are. And honestly, I would love to see Black and brown trans people portrayed in a positive, loving light. They've been victims of violence, murder. You know, I want to show that our family is a loving family.
Oh, man.
I think she'll be happy to be able to not wear the underwear that compress. That'll probably be great. She'll just
Mom, did you catch that?
She's been
Mom's looking forward to when her son doesn't have to wear compression underwear. So I can't wait till I don't have to deal with this bullshit. And my son has his penis chopped off and he can start being a girl.
I didn't pay attention to it because I was watching her walk around with these tiny little kids with a shirt that says Black Queer Dope.
Right.
She's in charge of them.
She's in charge. Oh, by the way, this woman is running for office in Delaware. So I can't remember her name, but yeah, she wants to. I
wonder if she'll use
like 15 minutes on the road,
advantage, right? I mean,
yeah, she's also on Facebook, like like one of those people that's like, oh, it's been a rough month. I need $200. It's like, just got fucking, how many thousands of dollars from Medicaid to mutilate your child? Why don't you just be grateful for that?
firm so long, it'll just be that final puzzle piece for her.
So I'm really excited because if I get the surgery, I'll be so much happier. Everything's possible. Nothing's impossible. I cannot wait to see my future because it's going to be a good future. I have dreams of my future.
I wish you the best of luck, Trinity.
I was just going to say, I hope to God that this person has a decent life after that. I mean, because that's a shame.
It's awful. I mean,
is anybody like tracking these kids that I'm sure, I mean, I have to be, right? Because like you said, this is like new, this exploded over the last, 15 years? 20 years?
At
maybe
tops. Yeah.
And so,
and it's gone way up in the past 5, like way up.
So we won't know until 2050, 2060, how this works out.
I've already seen
it's about
some,
the same year that Pfizer will release those documents.
Right. And everybody's going to have a big fucking, shit fest. Dude, I mean, I saw, they're just isolated, but I've seen videos where women have chopped their breast off and like just a couple months later been like, I feel like I have ghost breasts and it's driving them mad. Yeah. You know what I mean? And has anyone told this kid, as if telling them would be enough, but like, you'll never, you might not feel pleasure, Trinity. You might not ever, and that kid, how can you have that conversation? You know what I mean? You'll never have a child ever. Like,
Yeah, they're gone.
It's gone. Once you do this, it's gone forever. I just, so much worse than, like a tattoo. Like that used to be, parents in our day would be like, really want to think that one through. But, chopping stuff off forever is just the new way. But dude,
to me, the dilemma, I mean, so is Medicaid covering these type of things now? I mean, was that the precedent? Is that happening now? Because that's a whole nother beef altogether, right there. I mean, if they're going to steal people's money from them and then use it for something that they think is morally reprehensible, and they have no choice.
Oh my God.
It's just one more of a long list of things.
That's real bad, though.
It's kind of messed
real
up.
Bad. Yeah, the Christians are not going to be excited about this, dude. They might put this up there with, spending their money on Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. This is straight up fucking demonic shit. And speaking of it, they've got a new influencer in the house. Check out this broad.
The pandemic was a huge moment to be like, oh, none of this really matters. I might as well be who I want to be. And I think I never saw myself as beautiful before this gender identity sort of journey started, because I didn't think boys were allowed to be beautiful. And I was like trying to be handsome, and yet that didn't feel right either. And so it is really special to look in the mirror or like have my makeup done and be like, oh my gosh, this is what I've always wanted. Yeah. So I think the beauty really it's the potential. I don't think beauty for me is like an end goal or like a one thing, a one look or a one specific moment. It's the ever-changing potential to see myself in a light that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Where the hell are they?
Okay. Like the studio that they're at?
What was that?
Yeah. Okay. So that's Dylan Mulvaney, former gay man, currently on day 200 or so of being a girl, not a woman. He said he's going through girlhood. Which is, again, I think this is part of the weird, he's not saying I'm a woman. I'm enjoying my girlhood. It's another kind of perversion or something.
Sure.
That this person's going through. But again, we'll start with the positive. Dylan is an adult, and Dylan can do whatever he wants.
Fair enough.
With his body. That's your body, sir, ma'am, and you can do whatever you want, and I'll call you whatever you want. And
but he, if I'm not mistaken, he's just putting girls' clothes on.
So yeah, Dylan Dylan has over the past 200 days or so been taking hormone therapy, and I think Dylan just sprouted, because I've been following. I've been on TikTok past couple weeks. That's right, crushing that platform. Go check out Dave vs. Goliath on TikTok. But Dylan is absolutely crushing TikTok, and he just got a pair of little itty bitty titties, and he's really excited about those.
Okay.
But he's still got his bulge, as he calls it. Mm-hmm. But let's check out a little bit of of Dylan on TikTok and some other things.
Day 74 of being a girl, round of applause for the makeup. And I wore this outfit shopping today, and I thought that these might be my new shopping shorts, but I was walking around and everyone was staring, and I was like, oh.
That's weird, dude, that they were staring at you. I can't believe that they would do that. That's weird.
Okay, what's going on? And they were all staring directly at my crotch. And I went, oh, I forgot.
Why are you staring at my girl crotch, everybody? This is weird. Stop it. This is.
I forgot that my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes.
Oh my God.
Because it's not a women's crotch.
My crotch does not look like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I'm sorry. Dan and I said that we would try not to fucking poke fun at these people before the show.
I'm not trying to be me. It's just.
Yeah, but it's fucking funny. My crotch doesn't look like other girls' crotches. No, it doesn't, Dylan. Your crotch does not look like other girls' crotches.
Because mine doesn't look like a little Barbie pocket. And I thought, okay, Dylan, you have some options here. Number one, you can stop wearing clothes that fit like this.
That's my pick. Stop wearing clothes that fit like that.
And just find looser fitting items. Number two, I can do a tuck, which is going to have to be a whole other video, but it's very
It actually is a whole other video. I watched that tuck video.
painful and involved. Or number three, I just normalize it, and I wear clothes like this, and we all just normalize
That's it.
women having bulges.
That's the point of Dylan, because we're going to normalize this. We're going to normalize straight up men just doing this. And he doesn't have to chop anything off. He can just, this is my woman crotch. Sure.
Times, because we're coming up on bikini season, baby, and you might see a bulge or two. So normalize the bulge. We are normalizing the bulge. Women can have bulges, and that's okay.
Okay, here's another. Go ahead.
I don't know, dude. Is this real?
Okay, that's what I was going to get to, because when I saw the first couple of videos, I was like, wait a second. Like, this is really convincing, but there's definitely like a performative aspect to Dylan's content.
Like, so this reminds me of when like those like get vaccinated songs were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, is that this guy's job?
So
do you know
Dylan
what I mean? Like,
is
he employed to do this?
He's definitely an influencer, and millions of hits on TikTok. And I think that one that we just looked at, that studio he was in, it was Ulta. Ulta is like, I think, makeup, women's makeup.
So they're pushing it too.
So they're on board. This is a woman's company. So this is further destroying the language and what it means to be a woman. What is a woman? It's Dylan, says the woman's company, right? What is womanhood? It's this.
We're not gonna stare at their crotches while they're wearing their little shopping shorts.
Shopping shorts.
At the mall. Oh, thank you. Love you.
Okay, I want to be honest. I don't hate Dylan because this guy's pretty funny and, obviously kind of entertaining. But the performative aspect to it, it reminds me like he was a gay man like 6 months ago, right? And now he's not. Now he's a trans person. And I just find that a little sus. Like
little sus, especially when right out of the gates, he's got Ulta and other makeup companies like endorsing him and putting him out. And now he's going to White House and something.
So you weren't successful with he said, right? I used to try and be handsome, but I couldn't be handsome. It's like, okay, yeah, you were unsuccessful with chicks. You were gay. And you basically would try anything to be happy. Kind of like little Trinity. Like, I just want to be happy. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's ever changing. I can change it all the time. I just want to be happy and be me. And it's, let's check out more of what Dylan has to
It's
say.
day 222 of being a girl. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to the White House to speak to the President of the United States. You know that phrase, I fear I may have girl bossed too close to the sun? Well, that's how I feel today, because I get to sit down with Joe Biden and now this news, and I get to ask him a few questions surrounding trans issues in the United States and talk to him about my transness, and I really just want to represent my community the best that I can. And you know what? As silly as I am on here, I'm ready to step up and show that trans people, we're not going anywhere. And that trans kids, they deserve a fighting chance to be their true selves. Okay?
Nobody cares,
running
right?
late. Let's go. And y'all are obviously wondering what I'm going to wear to meet the president. Here you go. It's the trans flag colors. Cute, right? So heels? Okay. Dylan, you're going to be great. I love you. Let's go.
It feels like Dylan's mocking womanhood.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not accusing her of doing that. Whatever. I'm not accusing Dylan of doing that. If
but
you
imagine,
just want,
I mean, how I would like. I don't know if I don't even know how to say it. If there was a woman transing, okay, so if say they were becoming a man and put out a video like this and and doing the same thing with like a wife beater and a beer and a Budweiser and like a hat and like with wrestling on the TV and like wouldn't most guys
all the stereotypes, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of played out. Like, do women care about this? Like, that's how I would feel. Like, if it was the same, like, it's a little too much.
That's the weird part. Like, you have a real feminine man who spent his whole life gay, and then over the past, what they say, like since the pandemic started, figured what the heck, you know what I mean? Like that's just weird. I'm not buying it.
Come on. Do you think I just knock on the front door? Let's go.
Looking for the president's dog.
I hate that fucking
Our
voice.
queen.
So do I.
Love you. I love you. We're about to go. Is there anything in my teeth?
Leaving on cloud 9.
The President of the United States gave me a cookie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Dylan, So yeah, this person has been popping up everywhere, TikTok and Twitter for the past, like couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that. But I thought that it might have been like confined, to those areas. But dude, it's not. Dylan was invited, as she said, to the White House to talk with Joe Biden about trans issues.
What are the issues?
Well, Dylan wants to know what Joe Biden is going to do for trans youth and make sure that they have access to things like Young Trinity, like she did. So let's check that out here.
Plus bills introduced and enacted, outlawing things like gender-affirming healthcare and banning kids from playing sports. To go deeper into this issue, here with us today is Dylan Mulvaney, who's welcomed us into her life by, showing on social media her girlhood series. Let's take a look.
My name is Dylan Mulvaney. I am a trans woman, and I am documenting my transition publicly on TikTok for the world to see. When people started watching and the numbers kept getting higher, I realized quickly how public my transition would be. Of course, I knew that there would be backlash and negativity. I try to not let the internet's words hurt me or my spirit. But do you know what does hurt? Seeing people in power and authority figures creating laws and bills that are actively trying to harm us trans humans, especially trans children. Our lives have become political talking points. Lawmakers in many states want to exclude us from participating in sports.
She said trans humans.
She
trans
did.
people. And dude, I'll just say it. There's 1 degree of separation between this and the transhumanist movement of just destroying everything natural and human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where this probably leads in some years. But keep going, Dylan.
Or getting proper health care. Some folks want to decide where we can use the bathroom. No one should have fear living in a state that they call home while being true to themselves. No one should have their lives put in danger because of who they are inside. That's why I'm sharing my story with the world. I'm using my platform to stand up for my community and for any of the little Dylans that deserve a clear path to their true identity. Mr.
You know what this is, dude? This is
What's that?
This is what does Monica Perez call them? Made up
Created
people?
persons?
That's what this is.
Yeah, a created influencer.
Yeah.
I think that you're right, man, because
that's not organic.
Not enough time passed. And right, it's a performer. They know. I think Dylan has an IMDb page, like lots of character performances that this unsuccessful gay performer, like finally found the role of a lifetime almost. You know what I mean?
Look
and
at
getting
it.
rich,
Yeah.
rich beyond her wildest dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and here you are, just 4 weeks after the world learns who you are. You're at the White House with a bunch of other young people asking Joe Biden questions. Let's see what she has to say.
President, this is my 221st day of publicly transitioning.
God love you.
Thank you. I am extremely privileged to live in a state that allows me access to the resources I need, and that decision is just between me and my doctors. But many states have lawmakers that feel like they can involve themselves in this very personal process.
I like how they're becoming libertarians on more than just the abortion issue now. You're right. You got one more thing, right?
My body, my choice.
My body, my choice. Just this stuff.
Do you think states should have a right to ban gender-affirming health care?
I don't think any state or any...
That's fucking doublespeak. Do you think that they have a right to ban gender-affirming healthcare? Do you think they have a right to do harm to a child?
There you go.
You can word it however you want. Joe
Right.
Biden's a scummy lawyer. He'll go, that's not good. But that's really what you mean.
Anybody should have the right to do that. As a moral question and as a legal question. I just think it's wrong. You know, I think I was saying before we started that my son, my deceased son, used to be the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. He passed the broadest piece of legislation. He, as Attorney General, was able to convince the legislature and the governor to sign that dealt with all gender-affirming capability. I mean, there's a lot of,
This heavily edited, recorded meeting, he still can't fucking, he's struggling. I saw it in Dylan's eyes. Dylan's like, oh my God, this fucking old codger. I saw it. Oh my God. She's like, this person's crazy.
Sometimes they try to block you from being able to access certain medicines, being able to access certain procedures.
There it is. Sometimes they try to stop you from accessing certain medicines. And sometimes they try and stop you from having certain procedures. There it is. The president's on board.
And so on. None of that should be available. I mean, no state should be able to do that, in my view. So I feel very, very strongly that that you should have every single solitary right, including use of your gender identity bathrooms in public.
Thank you. Thank you. And it feels like Republicans have turned trans and non-binary people into this thing to blame society's downfall on in some ways. And this narrative is not only...
Just for the record, I don't blame you for society's downfall. I think that you are a symptom of the downfall of society.
Dangerous to our mental health, but also our physical safety. And particularly trans women of color are being murdered at an alarming rate.
More than any other group of people.
Here it is, how to lie with statistics.
100%. Because I know that's not true.
Right. And okay, let's just say it's factually true that black trans women are being murdered at a rate higher than any other group. What's the percentage of black trans women in the United States? I imagine it's far less than 1%. Far less. So
they play with this shit all the time like that. I've heard on the news a ton lately. Somebody figured out a way to say that the crime rate's been higher in the last year in red states than blue states. So that can't be what it is. And then they show the statistics that it is, but it's all in the blue cities in
the red states.
Yeah. And that it's rising in,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But
Delaware
still not a lie.
One of those.
Not a lie.
Still, it's true.
Thank you. How can Democratic leaders be more effective in advocating for us trans people and our families and our lives and our opportunities?
I'm not being facetious when I say this, being seen with people like you. No, I mean it. I genuinely mean it. People fear what they don't know. They fear what they don't know.
Joe Biden was like 12 years ago was saying that marriage is between a man and a woman. Like, I can't believe that's where we're at right now, but continue, sir.
And when people individuals realize, oh, this is what they're telling me to be frightened of. This is the problem. People change their minds. People just don't know enough to know. And it's not because of intellectual incapability, it's just lack of exposure. And I think that it's really important that we continue to speak out about the basic fundamental rights of all human beings. And the idea that what's going on, in some states, I won't get into the politics of it, but in some states, it's just
But the extremist Republicans.
And I think it's immoral.
Don't say gay, Bill.
The trans part's not immoral. What they're trying to do to trans persons is immoral.
Thank you. And do you have any messages to the families of trans folks that are seeking, options for their children, but are struggling to find resources? Do you have a message to those parents?
Yeah, I do. This is blood of your blood, bone of your bone. And
so don't ruin it. What the fuck? God.
It is, again, speaking to my son, when he spent a year in Iraq and he was a decorated soldier.
Bo Biden.
We know, Joe. I know.
Bo Biden, yeah, he was a great man. Bo Biden, for the record, defended the DuPont Air who raped his 3-year-old daughter and
You
got
guys
him
have
off.
some crazy shit in Delaware that goes on.
This is the fucking
DuPonts are
DuPont
wild.
dynasty. Who you think made Joe Biden? DuPont. So when it came around, these fucking people, bro. DuPonts, man, we're gonna have to do a whole episode on them. Maybe get some experts in here because some of the hospitals they set up here in the 100 years ago or so were set up to put the fucking inbred members of their family in.
Yeah, didn't they stick them in that weird little tower? It's like a
Maybe.
little...
Holy shit! Episode 36 is gonna be lit, dog. Shit.
Oh, all right. That's gonna be the next one.
Yeah, Joe Biden and the
Oh, that'll
DuPont
be-
conspiracy. We're getting him.
Wow.
He volunteered to go. He had to give up the Attorney General's job and then came back to it. And he started a foundation I'm not allowed to talk about now because I can't raise money for it any longer.
Oh, my God.
But
You
it
can't
was
turn it
for
off.
abused children. And one of the things he did is raise millions of dollars, this organization, to basically educate parents as to what they should not be afraid of.
Catch that?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Unbelievable. He set up this foundation, basically educate parents, tell them stuff they shouldn't be afraid of, like you fucking with your face and your body parts over there. Shouldn't be afraid of it.
And to educate the community as to what is just pure hyperbole, and so I just think it's a matter of leaders speaking out and saying, as I told you, I mentioned a young woman who used to be in his staff, used to be in my staff, who is now a state senator. And she's trans, and she's a state senator in the state of Delaware, in an area that was historically very conservative, the part of Delaware, and she's running unopposed this time. So
a trans person got elected in a conservative area in Delaware. Maybe people don't hate you as much as you think. I don't know. Maybe
things are changing.
Just prove their points all the time.
Yeah, I know the woman who he's talking about too, and yeah, she seems okay, and she's popular. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with her policies, but that's fine. You can be whoever you want, call you whatever you want. Nobody hates you. It's gonna be all right.
Changing, but it's a matter of us acknowledging that there's nothing to be, just because it's different, there's nothing to be fearful about.
Thank you for your questions, Dylan, and for using your platform to empower others.
Oof. Just because you're terrifying doesn't mean that we have to be scared of you. So it's no big deal. Corn pop. Fucking crazy, bro. So yeah, Dylan's out there crushing it. And Joe Biden is backing it up. I just hope that we can. I don't know if the parents aren't coming to the defense of the kids.
They are, though. I mean, some are.
Okay. Yeah. This is going to be bad in a couple decades, maybe.
Yeah, where's me? Like,
Yeah.
I wish I had looked up a little bit beforehand too, because I had seen those numbers before with like people that identified, like you look at 1920, 1950, 1970, 1990, 2010, and like somehow like
in 2017 it went up 75% somehow.
Yeah, right.
How is that?
What are we gonna do,
dude? We're gonna share one more video because we're gonna end on a, I guess, on a more positive note. But there was a rally to end child mutilation in Nashville the other day. I can't believe that's the title of a rally. That's just insane. Right, get to the heart of it. Yes, yeah, that's a thing. Don't do that. Right. Tulsi Gabbard was there. Ex-Democrat Tulsi Gabbard was there, talking about the assault on women, which is absolutely true. They were talking about the assault on manhood, and then there was Matt Walsh, who asked the famous question, "What is a woman?" And he gave a pretty decent speech, and there's a lot of people yelling here in the background, but because they're upset about it. But we'll hear what he has to say a little bit.
Now, here's the fact of the matter: there is in this state and all across the country a conspiracy to target and indoctrinate our children into the cult of gender ideology.
Yeah.
A cult which fosters delusion, intentionally creates an identity crisis in young, impressionable kids.
True.
It's a cult which convinces them that gender doesn't exist, that they have no identity. It's a path to confusion and despair.
Agreed.
Now, for years, this has been happening right here in the state of Tennessee, not far from where we currently stand. As my team and I uncovered, Vanderbilt Hospital got into the gender transition game because it's, quote, a big moneymaker. Those are their own words. And soon they were drugging and mutilating adults as well as children. Now, let me ask you guys this. As Tennesseans, do we believe in castrating children? Do we believe in that? No.
All right.
Do we believe in drugging and mutilating kids? They believe in it, we don't. Are we going to allow this in our state? Are we going to do what they want us to do, which is sit back in silence and allow our kids to be victimized? Are we? Now, I have 4 kids, and I have 2 more on the way. And like so many of you, I live every day constantly aware of the world that's out there.
He doesn't know that probably 2 or 3 of those kids are going to be trans. So that
Yeah,
really
3 out of
sucks.
4, easy.
You know, you better do something, Matt.
Of these people who want to prey upon my kids. My kids have no idea, what these people will try to do to them. It's not fair. It's not right that our kids live in a culture in a country like that. But here's the thing. I'm not going to leave it to my kids to fight this fight. We don't leave it to our kids. We stand up and we fight. Okay, it isn't.
Oh, Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
It isn't our kids' battle, it's ours. And we're not just fighting to protect our kids from mutilation in the name of gender transition. We're fighting that, but at an even deeper level. We are fighting for truth. That's what we stand for. We stand for absolute truth.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hate to just agree with everything that this guy's saying, but I agree with everything this guy's saying. And I'm like I said, I'll coalition with anybody when our causes align. So let the record
When
state.
the truth is on the line.
The truth is on the line. Oh, I can't believe. I mean, that's where we're at. The rally to end child mutilation. We have to have that because a lot of people are mutilating kids.
That's the craziest thing about that. I've never seen a sign like that at a rally. That's a thing.
Right. Terrifying, dude. In Tennessee. Tennessee, you'd think, I would just think, whatever, that's a red state, rural. They would never put up to.
Right? I don't know.
No, they're doing it.
That's what we stand for, right there. And that brings me to one final point that I need to make. The other side, the side that supports mutilating and drugging kids, they know they have no argument. They have nothing they can say, so they lie. And one of the most ridiculous lies that they tell is that they want to affirm kids. They're not affirming the child, they're affirming confusion. They're affirming despair. That's what they're affirming.
That's true.
That's true.
Now, we do not affirm confusion. We affirm the child. When a child is confused, we affirm him. We give him the sort of affirmation that he desperately longs for and needs and deserves. That's what we do. Now, that's our message. And it's a message that we hope resonates not just across the city or this state, but all across the country. Because we're building a movement, and we're not going anywhere. We're not going to rest. We're not going to rest until every child is protected from this madness. So the other side, they can shout and they can scream and they can call us whatever names they want. None of that will dissuade us because this is a battle of good versus evil.
I agree.
And we are fighting for good. We're fighting for what is true. We're fighting for people who cannot fight for themselves and shouldn't have to. That's what we're fighting for.
That's true.
We're in this for the long haul, for as long as it takes, right? This is only the beginning, I promise you that.
I'll tell you what, man. That gets me fired up. Dude, I had fun tonight actually talking about this. I needed to talk about this. I think I told you about this, maybe a month and a half ago, the Libertarian Party of Delaware got disinvited to the state weed festival because they said that our party was promoting hate speech against our trans allies. And look, I couldn't find anything about that, and I don't think that that's true. I'm not even going to really like dignify that with a response. All I want to say, dude, is that I don't hate anybody who doesn't aggress on other people. You know who I hate. The list is, sure. I hate Henry Kissinger. I hate Hillary Clinton. I hate all these bastards, these warmongers and butchers and thieves. I don't hate mentally ill people. I don't. I feel bad for some of these people, and I reject the idea that society should bend to them, and I will fight that. And but
I understand where that hate, like why you wanted to talk about it tonight and why you get heated too, because it makes me feel a little bit sick inside, because there's just something so gross about using kids, because they're absolutely defenseless and they're so easy to manipulate. That's why we hate child predators so much, and like in any other regard, it's the most despicable thing that can be done is to prey on children. But this is exactly it too. They don't know. They don't have an opinion of, they don't know, dude. It's gross.
And they
it's gross
should
to do
be
that
able
to somebody.
They should be able to count on their parents when they come home from school and go, Mom, teacher said that boys can be girls and girls can be boys and you can be whatever you like. Then mom or dad should go, all right, sit down. We need to have a real talk. You know what I mean? Not, oh yeah. Because then the truth really is at stake. Like we're already multi-generations down. Like your parents were assholes, and then you were an asshole, and then you had a kid who's now it's like the multiplicity thing. And dude, I mean, I spent the better part of the last year or two getting called the worst names: racist, alt-right, Nazi, all that stuff. So that stuff's kind of lost its sting when somebody tells me I'm in a hate group. But I did analyze that. I thought about it, like, okay. Is this what is my position that I'm taking right now? Is that Matt Walsh position? That's what I think they mean. That's not standing with your trans allies, is not wanting them to be chemically castrated or have their body parts taken off. So I'm not an ally, or I hate them or whatever, man. But if that's what it is, then that is what I will accept, because that is what I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess, it'll keep
what are you
coming.
Gonna do?
Just keep the names coming.
The names will change though. Whatever
they will. Transphobe, all this stuff have been called it again.
Yeah.
It's losing its sting a little bit, but yeah, man, we come with love, man. I want humans to thrive. And Dylan, go out there, man. Be the best you can be, but don't try to bend society to you, because then we're going to be at odds. But
you're not going to normalize the female bulge.
It's never gonna happen, bro. Just want to let you know, we're not gonna ever normalize the female bulge. Okay, dude. Today I saved the sponsors and stuff for the end of the show, because I feel like Austin Dillon recommended that. He said, you should do it at the end of the show, because that's where you'll know if people make it to the end, they might care. I'm like, that's not bad.
He's a smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna take his advice and remind people to share this show on YouTube, like it, subscribe, smash that like button, all that good stuff. We're on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok if you're there. Leave a nice review on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. And we are, of course, brought to you by Wheelie's Pharmacy, CBD products, www.wheelie's Pharmacy, that's FARMACY.com, for amazing tinctures, capsules, teas. We're working on some gummies and some really cool stuff.
The best.
Yeah, it's this good shit, man. Use promo code DVG15 to save 15% at checkout. And last, we are brought to you by Burnt Hair.
Animal attraction, a scent that turned fear into fascination.
Brought to you by Elon Musk. Get that guy some money so that he can get Twitter, so that I can get back on there. We can start wrecking shop. And yeah. But bro, I feel like we did some good tonight. And we took on the demons. And now this house is clear. You got anything else? Feeling pretty good?
No, I'm good, man. See you next week, maybe.
You're muted, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
It's,
yeah, I would love it,
am I
man.
good now?
No,
Sorry.
you're good. You're good.
Dive into
let's do it
some,
next week if you're
coupons
available.
or something. That would be cool. I think next Monday's Halloween.
Yeah,
you let me know. I'm down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get it in. But I know some people around here that maybe know some Biden secrets. Maybe we could get them into dish, bro.
Yeah,
Sound
where
good?
they been? Let's do that.
Yeah, right. They're in Arden. That's where Joe Biden did all his satanic rituals back in the day. We'll find out more about it.
Sounds good.
Anyway, man, great to have you back, bro. Always enjoy the chat, and thanks for everything, man.
See you next time.
See you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Episode 35 is in the bank. We had to put the episode with Josh Smith on hold because the guy needs a backiotomy, so we'll get him back in here soon. Let's see here. We got one comment at the end. Yes, sirree, from the Time Continuum. We're cruising the Time Continuum, bro. Time Continuum, come back next week and hang out with us. All right? Guys, it's been real. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. All right? Peace.
Now that the smoke's gone.